What's up, everybody? Starting our first cooking session tonight, and we are going to be cooking some grilled chicken. These are just plain chicken breasts with nothing on them. Halfway through the grilling, I will be basting them with this mixture here, which is simply some Walden Farms honey mustard with a couple tablespoons of steak sauce, just to give it a little extra bold flavor. And then that's what I will be eating this evening, and then I will be preparing the leftovers for the rest of this week. And then for Monday and Tuesday, I have some sauerkraut burgers that I'm going to be cooking here in the kitchen in a skillet, which is simply 1 pound of lean ground turkey, a little bit of garlic. This is the sauerkraut here. If you're wondering why it's in a napkin, that is because I take it out of the can, pardon me, I drain it really well, try to get all the water out of it, and then also in the ground turkey there is about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Walden Farms Thousand Island dressing. And then over here we have our vegetable mixture for this evening as well. With my chicken, I'm going to be having some green beans. I don't know if you can see it all here very well. Green beans, red onions, and some portobello mushrooms. This right here on the end is just cubed squash, and I'm going to be pairing that with some tomatoes and garlic. Of course, you got to have garlic in every meal. So let's go ahead and get this started, and we'll get things underway. So here I'm just taking my my 1 can of sauerkraut, put that in with my ground turkey, take it all, mix it all together real well so that we can make some nice patties out of that. These are delicious too. One of my favorite things to eat. Forgot to mention one other thing. Whenever you're cooking in a skillet, any type of meat or vegetable, I never pour my olive oil in there. I have a dish right here beside the stove with just a nice basting brush that I use I dip the brush in the olive oil, and then I'll simply just kind of brush the pan in it, because you don't want to get too much olive oil. Yes, they are all good fats. However, as I've mentioned in the past, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So we'll go ahead and get some of our other stuff going here. I'm just going to be showing you cooking the turkey burgers here for this evening, and then I'm going to step outside and I'll be grilling the chicken, and then it's time for me to eat. Also, with the spinach, or with the cubed squash and the tomatoes, I'm going to be putting in some fresh spinach in there as well. So just to add some greens in there. Go ahead and start making our patties here, and drop those into the skillet. Now while those are cooking, I'm going to be preparing I'm going to be chopping up some more green beans and red onions and mushrooms. Go ahead and cook the rest of those since there's not that much left, and I will just portion them all out into small containers for the rest of my meals this week. Something very interesting about the tomato, and I'm sure that I've told some of you this at some point or another, it is the only fruit or vegetable that, when cooked, gains nutritional value. Now, I'm not 100% certain on how that works. I don't know exactly, but I do know it happens. all other vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, green beans, and such, whenever you cook them, whenever they're heated, they lose a little bit of their nutritional value. Not much, but just a little bit. These are just big portobello mushrooms. I like to just cut those into about 4 to 5 pieces. I don't really care to have my mushrooms really really fine and tiny. I like to have them in fairly big chunks. Just my preference, though. You can cut them up however you wish. Now, occasionally, with the squash and the tomatoes, I will put artichokes in there as well. I'm not going to this evening just because well, honestly, I had that last week, and I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Flip these burgers here real quick. These things are so good. I don't know if you like sauerkraut or not, but if you do, you will love those. I think ground turkey by itself is just a little boring, so I always have to add something else with it. All right, let's go ahead and get our squash and our tomatoes going. And again, we're just going to brush the bottom of that skillet. Don't need a whole lot of olive oil in there, just a little bit. Because what happens a lot of times whenever you're cooking with fruits and vegetables, they all have water in it. So most of the time, and the same goes with chicken or turkey or beef, whatever it is that you're cooking, everything has water in it. So it always cooks some of that water out and act as a lubricant in your skillet. So you really don't need a whole lot of olive oil unless you're using some type of flavored or spiced olive oil, which I do use sometimes. I have some spiced olive oils back here that I do use occasionally. You just have to be very sensible whenever you use something like that, simply because there's a lot of calories in 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So just keep that in mind, be sensible about it. I'm going to cook my squash just a little bit. I'm going to cook it down a little bit before I add the tomatoes so that the tomatoes don't get real soggy. I like to have them still clumped together a little bit. My first night of doing this, and my dog's sitting here watching me. He thinks I'm talking to him. It's like, what in the heck are you doing, man? Maybe. Jeez, I can't get that open. Well, I was going to add some basil in there. My hands are all greasy. I cannot get that open. Let's see if I have some up here. I do not. Just a heads up with the turkey burger and the sauerkraut. It doesn't stick together real well, so you just have to be careful whenever you're cooking them that you don't let them fall apart on you. I suppose that you could add an egg and some breadcrumbs of some sort, or crackers if you wanted to, but there again, you're getting into extra calories and carbs that aren't really needed. So I just stick with a little bit of Thousand Island dressing. Oop, that one's not done. A little bit of Thousand Island dressing, sauerkraut, and turkey. Those three make a good combination there. So this is pretty much what I do every Sunday evening. Hillary works on Saturday and Sunday, so I get the entire kitchen to myself, and I just go at it for about 30 to 40 minutes here, cooking everything for the week, next couple of days. And then whenever I run out of food on either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll go ahead and I'll cook up some more stuff, and it could be the same thing. Might be things that I have left over from Sunday's cook. Just depends, really. I'm gonna try to get this open again. That's just not happening. I do not have any basil up there either. Huh. Go ahead and drop another burger in here. Alright, so time to drop those tomatoes in there, and just a little bit of spinach, handful of spinach. A little bit of salt, just a tad bit, and more garlic powder. I like garlic. Does a lot for your cooking. Really accentuate a lot of good flavors whenever you can put garlic in there. Real quick, I'm going to show you the finished product on this. Looks so good. Can't wait to eat that. I like to separate my containers and go ahead and do it in advance. That way, whenever I get ready to leave in the morning, that's one less thing that I have to do that day. Just go ahead and do everything right now. Make life a lot easier ahead of time. Now, I will also I buy the sweet potatoes that are wrapped in cellophane that you just throw in the microwave. Chances are with my turkey burger and my squash and spinach and tomatoes there, I will also also have a sweet potato as well. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get my food for this evening started, and that is going to be, like I said earlier, these green beans, portobello mushrooms, and red onions. And I just throw all that into a big skillet there, and it's just pretty well going to saute for about 20 minutes while I get the chicken on the grill started. Just throw a lid on that and let it cook nice and slow. The sauerkraut in the skillet will brown a little bit. I prefer to cook those in a skillet because, like I mentioned earlier, they kind of fall apart on you a little bit. So if you try to cook them on the grill, unless your grates are really fine and they're close together, chances are you're gonna lose some burger down there. So I like to keep it in the skillet and just keep my heat down fairly low, and that way I don't lose anything. And there's the last of that. So I'll wash those two containers out real quick. Try to be efficient about my cooking, that way whenever I finish I don't have a huge mess. Nobody likes a messy kitchen, right? Set that up here out of the way. And I'm going to start putting things up and closing up shop. I'm going to leave you for just a second. I'm going to step outside and start the grill for my chicken. This will only be the second time that I've grilled this year. It's been, as you know, it's been very cold as of late, which usually doesn't keep me from grilling. However, whenever the wind chill is 15 to 20 below, chances are I'm not going to get out in that. So I'm taking advantage of this nice day that we have today. So I will be back here in just 30 to 40 seconds. Alright, and I think I showed this to you earlier. The sauce that I'm going to be putting on my chicken as it's grilling. All that is that's just Walden Farms honey Dijon mustard and probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons of steak sauce. I buy all my steak sauce and dressings and things like that. I buy the generic brand, so it's just a Kroger brand steak sauce. A lot of times, if you look at the ingredients label on the generic versus the name brand, the generic brand is oftentimes a little bit healthier. And you know what? I'm not 100% certain on why that is. The only thing that I can think of is because it costs less, so they're finding ways to put fewer ingredients in it so that they keep their costs down, which works for me because I you know that I prefer foods that have fewer ingredients in them. Give my green beans a stir here real quick. Oh, those are looking awesome. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit of garlic powder on top of with those again. I have some fresh garlic that I did put in the turkey burgers, however, so I don't always use powder. I do have actual fresh garlic that I keep on hand here. Now something else that I'll probably do with maybe two of these turkey burgers is I will just take 2 big pieces of iceberg lettuce and I'll use that as a bun. So I'll put probably spicy brown mustard on there with tomato, maybe a slice of cheese, I don't know, just depends. And then I'll make a sandwich with those pieces of lettuce there. And then of course I'll probably have a sweet potato as well. Or maybe I got 2 more things of squash in there. I might peel and cube those and cook those as well. Don't really know. We'll just have to see what sounds good the rest of this week. All right, so the turkey burgers are finished. Get that out of the way. Switch burners here. That one's a little bit more powerful. So put my lid back on there. After you finish cooking, you always want to let your food cool down before you put your lid on and then put it in the refrigerator. If you don't, it'll develop a lot of steam, and then whenever you go to eat it, then you got a lot of extra moisture and water in there, which kind of takes away from the flavor. So I always let everything sit out for about 10-15 minutes before I put it back into the refrigerator. Alright, I will be right back. I'm going to step outside and put the chicken on the grill. Alright everybody, that's pretty much it for this evening. I'm just waiting on my chicken to finish up, and like I said, I will cook those for maybe about 5 minutes on each side. Baste the top side, flip it over, and then just kind of continuously flipping and basting every 2 to 3 minutes until everything's nice and evenly cooked all the way through. Show you these green beans and mushrooms and onions real quick, so you can kind of see how they have a little bit of a shiny look to them. I did not put any olive oil hardly whatsoever in there. I just literally just brushed the bottom of the pan. So that's what I mean by the moisture cooking out of the vegetables there. So you really do not need very much at all. As I've mentioned 100 times in the past, yes, it is a good fat, but a lot of calories. So, I will see everyone in the gym this week, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.